Attention passionate Montreal, Canadiens fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the Atlantic Division and it could shake up the entire conference. We're talking about a direct impact on Montreal Canadiens' path to another Stanley Cup run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Montreal Canadiens fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Montreal Canadiens fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you're a die-hard Canadiens supporter, you know how unpredictable this season has been so far. The team has faced its ups and downs, but what's truly exciting right now is the shifting landscape in the Atlantic Division, a division that's historically been one of the most competitive in the NHL. We've seen teams rise and fall, but right now, there's a real buzz about what might be coming next, and it's all tied to some major moves that could redefine the Montreal Canadiens' chances in the postseason and beyond. This isn't just about regular season standings. No, it's about the entire balance of power in the East and how the Canadiens could capitalize or face new challenges because of these shifts. Let's talk about how the season has unfolded for the Canadiens so far. Montreal, after a bit of a rocky start, has shown flashes of brilliance. Players like Cole Caulfield continue to develop into franchise cornerstones, and the team's young core, like Juraj Slavkovsky and Kaiden Guhle, are getting valuable experience that could pay off big time down the line. But what's really been catching the attention of fans and analysts alike is the team's recent performance and the moves that may be on the horizon, which could be the catalysts for a real turnaround. The Canadiens have always been known for their resilience, their ability to find talent in unexpected places, and their passionate fan base that remains loyal through thick and thin. And right now, with some strategic moves in the works, they could be gearing up to make a serious push. Now, shifting gears a bit, let's focus on the bigger picture. The Atlantic Division has been particularly volatile this season. Teams like the Boston Bruins, the Florida Panthers, and the Tampa Bay Lightning have all been jockeying for position. But what's intriguing is the recent developments that might tip the scales. For example, the Bruins, who have traditionally been a powerhouse, are facing some roster questions, especially around their veteran core and salary cap management. Meanwhile, the Panthers, with their additions for the 2024-25 season, seem to be positioning themselves for a deep playoff run. But how does that affect Montreal? Well, it's all about positioning and the potential trades or signings that could come in the next few months. Speaking of the Panthers, it's interesting to note that they've added some fresh talent to their roster, aiming to push for a Stanley Cup. They've been aggressive in free agency and trade markets, and their management clearly believes that this core can finally push them over the top. But what about Montreal? Well, the Canadiens are watching closely, and they're preparing their own moves. The team's management has been patient but strategic, knowing that the right acquisition or draft pick could be the difference between a playoff appearance and a deep run. And with the trade deadline approaching, everyone's eyes are on what Montreal might do, whether that's adding a veteran to bolster the roster or making a bold move to acquire a young star. Now, here's where it gets even more interesting. There are whispers around the league about some big names potentially changing hands before the trade deadline. Players like Michkov, a young Russian phenom, are being discussed in trade rumors, with some analysts suggesting that his next contract could be a game-changer. If he moves to a team like the Flyers or someone else in the East, that could have a ripple effect on the entire division, including Montreal's playoff prospects. The Flyers, for instance, have been evaluating their goalie situation and might be looking to make a splash. If they decide to shake things up with trades or signings, it could alter the competitive landscape significantly. And speaking of goalies, the Canadiens are also keeping a close eye on that position. With the inconsistency some teams have faced in net this season, Montreal is assessing whether to stick with their current goaltenders or make a move in the market. The importance of having a reliable netminder cannot be overstated, especially as the playoffs approach. It's a position that can define a team's season, and Montreal's management knows that. They've been scouting potential acquisitions, and the trade deadline could be a pivotal moment for their goaltending strategy. Now, diving into some of the statistical highlights, Montreal's young players have been steadily improving their numbers. Caulfield, for instance, has already posted impressive goal totals, showing that his shot is as lethal as ever. The team's defensive core, led by Gould and David Savard, has been more solid lately, reducing the goals against and giving the team a fighting chance in close games. But what really excites fans is the potential for growth. If the Canadiens can add a piece or two, maybe a veteran defenseman or a proven scorer, they could transform into a true playoff contender. The team's analytics also suggest they're trending in the right direction, with their Corsi and Fenwick percentages improving game after game, indicating better puck possession and scoring opportunities. Looking ahead, the schedule isn't getting any easier. The Canadiens will face some of the toughest opponents in the league in the coming weeks, and every game will be crucial. The team's resilience will be tested, but it's also an opportunity for these young players to prove they belong among the league's best. The coaching staff, led by Martin St. Louis, continues to emphasize a fast-paced, aggressive style of play that fits the modern NHL perfectly. St. Louis, a former star player himself, is known for his ability to motivate young talent and implement a system that promotes puck possession and quick transitions. His impact has been noticeable, and fans are optimistic about what the team can achieve under his guidance. Now, let's not forget the historical context for Montreal. The Canadiens are the most storied franchise in NHL history, with 24 Stanley Cup titles to their name. That legacy is always part of the conversation, especially when the team is on the cusp of something great. The fans' passion, the iconic Bell Center atmosphere, and the rich history of legends like Jean Béliveau, Maurice Richard, and Patrick Roy all fuel the current squad's ambitions. The Canadiens have always been about resilience, about fighting back when the odds are stacked against them, and that's exactly what they're doing now. Every game, every point, every goal scored or conceded adds another chapter to their storied history. As the trade deadline approaches, the excitement among fans is palpable. Montreal's management is in a delicate position, balancing the desire to contend immediately with the need to build for the future. This balance is what makes hockey so fascinating, because every move could be the difference between a playoff exit or a deep run, maybe even a Stanley Cup. The offseason and trade deadline are like chess matches, strategic and tense, and Montreal fans are watching every move closely. They're hoping that management will make the right decisions, that they'll bring in that missing piece, or maybe even sell some assets to build for the future. And you know what's really special about being a Canadiens fan right now? It's the sense of hope and anticipation. The team is on the rise, young talent is blossoming, and the league's landscape is shifting. The Atlantic Division, once dominated by a few perennial powerhouses, is now more open than ever. That opens the door for Montreal to make some noise, to surprise a few people, and to remind everyone why the Canadiens are one of the most legendary franchises in hockey history. The passion of the fans, the energy in the Bell Center on game nights, the stories of comebacks and clutch performances, these are what makes supporting Montreal so incredible. In conclusion, the upcoming months are going to be defining for the Canadiens. Whether they're making a big splash at the trade deadline or quietly building through their young core, one thing is certain. Montreal remains a team with a rich tradition, a fierce fan base, and the potential to rise again. The shifts happening in the Atlantic Division could be the catalyst for a new chapter in Canadiens history, a chapter filled with hope, resilience, and the relentless pursuit of another Stanley Cup. So stay tuned, because this season is shaping up to be one of the most exciting in recent memory, and Montreal fans are at the heart of it all. The future is bright, and the Canadiens are poised to make their mark once again. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next in this incredible hockey story. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Montreal Canadiens news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Now to wrap things up, let's remember that hockey is a game of moments, of shifts, of plays that can turn the tide in an instant. Montreal has faced adversity before, and they've always bounced back stronger. The management, coaching staff, and players all understand that the window for success is now, and they're working tirelessly behind the scenes to make it happen. The fans, as always, remain the most passionate in the league, filling the Bell Center with energy and hope. Whether it's a game-winning goal from Caulfield, a clutch save from their goalie, or a strategic trade that changes everything, every piece of this puzzle is vital. And now, Montreal Canadiens fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Montreal Canadiens. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Montreal Canadiens news. The season is far from over, and the best is yet to come. Let's keep the faith, keep supporting this proud franchise, and get ready for what promises to be an unforgettable ride. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Habs!